talking about the principles of kata bunkai, inevitably someone's going to bring up pressure points. And what we want to get across is that it doesn't matter whether you believe in ki or chi or anything like that. What matters is that you aim for a particular target, that we're going to be specific. So if I were going to strike, we could say I'm going to hit him in the face. Well, that could be anywhere, right? Or you could aim to connect with his cheek. Well, again, you know, it's very, very broad. But if I'm aiming for his jaw, it's what part of the jaw am I aiming for? And if I aim for a particular part of the jaw, do I aim for something this big, or do we get smaller? Well, I want to aim very, very particularly for particular sites like that, that, and that. And I need to be able to touch them in motion and not just with my fingertips. Because the trouble with pressure points is that we end up practicing going, oh, there's a pressure point just there, and I touch it with my finger, and that seems to be then that people think that that's how you access it. You don't access it like that. You access it by doing a move from your kata, right? So, in the middle of a fight, I can't be going in with my fingertips, but I do need particular targets. If I aim for a particular target and miss, I'm still going to get an okay shot. If I aim for a broad general target and miss, it's not going to be much good, is it? So, if I'm in here and I've managed to pull that in there and I'm dropping this down on here, I can either land it anywhere or I can aim to go there. And when we get that, I'm going to get a much bigger effect. Now you say, well, that's nice because it's all posed. Agreed. And initially, as we explore the idea, we do pose it. And then, bit by bit, you start to add that someone comes in and you're going to touch it. And then maybe we can randomise the attack and we're going to touch it. And we're going to touch it. You've got to be able to reach it every time because that's your target and that's what you're going for. On all the other vital places as well. So what moved from what kata was that was receiving and cutting down to here and bringing it in on what we call the stomach 5 point. Now once you know that, that's where you're going to go with it, then you tend to get it more frequently. If you don't know where you're going to go with it, how will you ever get there? Right, so people say, well, why use all these weird terms for it? Can't you just refer to it by the Western medicine name? Certainly, you certainly could. We just choose to use those names because they give us an idea of the effect it might have on the body. And let's face it, acupuncture seems to work, and so with that, whether it's self-inflicted, self-hypnosis or whatever, it has an effect. With that going on, if I can make that effect occur, then I'm going to use it. Now, if you're telling me that I've got to think that that's going to have an effect on his stomach, and it will, great. But it seems to work. It seems to have that effect. So, if it works, we use it. If it doesn't work, abandon it, or look further into it to find out why it's not working. So with all these things in mind, what we're saying about pressure points is aim for particular points instead of having a general broad shot.